All right, I wanted to put together another video on my scalping strategy. I know I put a lot of calls out there on when I get in and out on the first like 5, 10, 15 minutes of the bell, but I wanted to share something with you, something I learned from another trader. This guy's been trading professionally on Wall Street since like the 90s. He's got a ton of books, and his reputation is one of the best in the business. So I'm taking his strategy. I'm watering it down. I'm gonna give it to you guys. The thing I like about it is it's scalping is like 50-50, but the way he trades, he uses these first 20 to 30 minutes in the market, and that's where he makes about 80% of his money. So he made a reputation for doing this on Wall Street, and then now he goes around and sharing this technique, and he'll fund you an account, and he wants you to basically work for him, where they split profits 60-40. So I understand his strategy pretty well, and I'm just going to show that to you here. So in this video, I'm just going to give you the watered down version. I like it because we can increase our capabilities of profit taking the first 15-20 minutes of the market, limit our risk, and then understand these setups that are just going to be consistently profitable for us. For me personally, I trade tickers that I trust, so like Amazon, Google, Apple, Microsoft, IWM, etc. But you can certainly push the strategy on many other companies in the market. So, so the strategy is simple. I'm going to discuss setting up charts, reading the bars, what bars to look for, and then how to scalp using this strategy. And then you can also leverage the same thing when you're looking at intraday trading. But then I'll throw a couple other indicators on there. The first couple indicators that we'll use are the 20 EMA and then the 200 EMA. So what we're looking for, especially on a 2-minute ticker or a 2-minute chart, this is Tesla. We want to see what the first couple minutes gives us, and based on that, what's that first bar. So those are the first two. Also like having the stochastic slow pulled up as an indicator, and then I'll add a couple other ones. I have some market buy orders, and then market profile, or what you know as like volume profile, and that'll help us as we start to intraday trade. The other one I like down here is the CM Williams. The reason I like this one is it helps me identify bottoms or tops, and we'll get into it, and I'll show you some examples. It's probably the best way to define this indicator and how to use it practically. So first thing we have here, we got Tesla on the 2-minute. I like to scalp on the 2 or 3 minute. I recommend the 2, but obviously 3 is another powerful one. I tell people stay away from the 1 minute. They might give you false breaks, so stick with the 2. You'll get a little bit more information from that. So we have our 200 and our 20 EMAs pulled up. So let's identify the states. So when these two are like fairly close together, we have a narrow state. This is where we want to trade from. We want to trade in the narrow state when these two are together. Now when you're farther apart, like these two guys here, we have a wide state. So on Thursday, we get a nice bounce off the 200 and a nice push up. All right, and then this kind of thing tops out here, and then now we have a wide state. Now, wide states, you can typically look to play short for the pullback, but then we're playing against the trend. All right, trend is our friend in this case, and that's why I say, hey, don't worry too much about when these two are far apart in this wide state, and focus more or less on the narrow state, which we'll have on Tesla, especially on this last Friday. So the idea is, if 20 is over the 200. Or whatever we're looking at is the 20 above. We want to see a nice break with a nice powerful 2-minute bar off that break. We might not get it right away, but if you find the stock that you like, just keep observing it. I'll fast forward throughout the day. So on Friday, breaks underneath. We're not on the pre-market, and then as the bar enters, we're looking at a bounce off the 200. If it stays above the 200, I'm looking to go long as we're in this narrow state, but I'm waiting for a price to break above my 20. So I'm still watching it. So right here we have 938. We have a nice break above that 20 with a very strong candle. This right here, 87%, I forget the actual like statistic, but 87% of the time, anytime we get a long bar break above this 20 on a positive trending ticker, especially these higher end ones like Tesla, Apple, Amazon, 87% of the time, trend is going to continue to carry it that direction. So here we have stochastics showing us oversold, got a nice bounce off the 200, and then we have a break above the 20. All right, so this bar, this one's closed now. What I'm looking to do is enter long positions anytime it breaks above the high. So I'm setting up an open position there, and then my stop loss is 1 penny below the low of the previous bar that I'm working off of. All right, and then what I'm targeting is basically three pushes of next. So as we start to look at the next bars being formed, we got a break. All right, so we're in it now, and that's one good push, two good push, three good pushes, and we can start to take profit from right there. That right there, that's an $8 move in less than 6 minutes, and that's your scalp. You can obviously look to add, but the strategy will unfold a little bit when we start to look at these next red bars. Obviously this is still trending above the 20, so you can continue holding on something like this, but we're moving our stop loss up a little bit more, so we can keep playing this out. So now we have this little red bar that comes up. I know it looks darker gray to you. I like to trade a little bit more, I guess, gray coated areas, so I'm not like psychology and trading red and green. I'm not going to get into it right now, but I'm looking to take like I said, I entered my trade here, right ish, and I'm looking to take profits, and I'm also looking at the stochastic. So even if I held for another $4 run up, I'm getting out up here, somewhere in this level, this $10-11 profit. Again, that's still a 6-7 minute movement, and I'm out. Got my stochastic going into this over bot territory, but that's basically scalping 101 using this strategy. I'm just waiting for a nice pop on a trending upward stock like Tesla, and then next time it breaks this high of the bar, I'm entering. So I'm entering here, and I'm running this thing all the way to the top, and usually your stochastic over bot is a good indicator that this thing's going to want to pull back, and you'll start to see that as trade comes in. Before we get into other tickers, I'll show you a nice intraday trade, but I'll use some of these other indicators on how to do that. So I'll pull up the CM Williams, I'll pull up my market profile, and then the order blocks, and then I'll just play through it here. So next time I'm looking potentially, here is where I called it out on Friday. If we're looking to break high days kind of thing. So these high days, so we have a positively trending stock. I know that if I break high day, I know that this previous green line is the high day from yesterday. Also ties in pretty nicely with this movement up in our first trade. But now I got to pull back into this point of control. This would be another good entry when it breaks above my 20 to look at intraday trades. So as we start to break over it, we know that if we break above the 20, there's a very good chance that we're going to run right back into point of control, or to our previous high, which we end up going through and breaking. So another good scalping right here. It's not much of a movement, but it still gives us a pretty good safe trade. So we have a break above it. We'll set our stop just underneath the point of control for this volume profile, and that gives us another $6 winner. And this trade itself isn't very long. Again, another maybe 6-7 minute trade. We're in and out. All right, so we know that's a key level, that 866.25 key level for us. And then all we're looking for are order blocks to show up so that we can start drawing out our supply levels. And then we get a break of our supply levels, we know that we can get into a pretty good intraday trade. So this thing ranges between these two, between the point of control and the previous high, and we're looking for a setup. So we don't want to trade in this balance zone. This is where buyers and sellers are happy with price. So we're going to sit tight. All right, so here we have our order block being built. And I know that if I can get a break above this order block, then I'm going to look to go long. So I'm just going to set in my long position here, and I'm going to set in a stop loss below the previous point of control, and I'm just going to ride. I'm going to ride the profits as long as price stays above the 20 or until the end of the day. So I'm going to move this to like maybe 1556 for that military time, and we're just going to look to intraday trade it. So I know that as long if this can break above these order blocks, these bearish order blocks, I'm going to go long in this trade, and I'm going to ride it as long as this price stays above the 20 EMA. So we'll go ahead and play it out. And this is for a good trending day. We haven't broke below any points of control, and there we go. We got a break above. We have a break into it, and then I'm in it. So I'm in this trade right now. I got my stop loss down below the previous point of control, and I'm just riding this thing. As long as it stays above that 20 EMA, I'm in the trade. So this is an order. This is basically a positive trending day. We don't have any pullbacks. It's not hitting any supply levels. This is literally just trading the trend and watching supply levels get taken out. And I know that at some point before the end of the day, I'm going to want to try to take some profits. So I know that I'm up here in my stochastics, hitting a few times in the red, kind of an overbought. And you know, this is a $29 movement. You know, let's be happy with this. Let's take out some profit and like close our day out and then go into our weekend. So this is essentially, you know, we got, you know, about 14 minutes until market's over. This is a great time to, you know, if you got like 4 or 5 contracts in Tesla, especially options. I mean, this is a huge move to the upside. So I know we're getting a little long in the video, so we're going to go to another ticker. Let's go to Amazon. I'll try not to cheat here. And we'll turn off these so we can clean up our chart a little bit. You know, so obviously we got our narrow bars coming in. Let's see if I can get this tucked in here. So this is on Amazon. Again, I got narrow bars coming in. I haven't seen any like massive pushes above it. I do know that this is the high of this bar, but I want to wait for a nice big, as you would see, a green bar above, break above the 20. So we'll go ahead and play it. Comes down. Hey, I got a nice overbought area here. Sorry, oversold area on my stochastics, and I'm looking to go long on a break of this high. So a break of this high, and then my stop loss would be 1 penny on the low of this bar here. And I'm just looking for 3 pushes up. I know that the previous resistance level, you can almost take this level as a good take profit level. So we can mark that out. And this gives us a pretty, you know, 1-to-1 risk. But we're looking to scalp. We got a nice big green candle push up above this, barely breaks above the 20, but it breaks above the 20. I'm looking at the next bar. As soon as it breaks over that high, the previous candle, I'm going in. I got one. Basically, I got one. A little pullback holds the 20, and a nice third push up here. And this gives us, if we look to exit off the red here, this is good. So now I'm using my CM Williams to show me where it's kind of bottomed, and then I'm using my stochastics, and I'm happy with this big green candle coming into the market, pushing above the 20, and I'm entering the trade as soon as it breaks above that high, and then I'm in it. So pushes up, pulls back down, holds, and then it just builds from there. This is a little bit longer of a trade, but you know, you're not looking at too many more candles trading above the 20. I know this is going up, and now I'm looking to take profits right around here. This gives me a $3 movement on Amazon. Again, options calls here, pretty strong. All right, let's take a look at the other side of this thing. So we'll take a look at BABA. Strategy works just the same as the other way, right? So pull it here. We'll rewind it back to the day. We already know this is trending down as our 20 is broken below our 200. And I'm looking for that first big candle, basically push above. So this is a nice big candle. So the next candle I look at, I want to take an entry on a short position on the low break on the next candle, and I'm going to set my loss essentially right at the high of that candle. So 1 penny above, that's my cut. That's when I cut this thing. So my stop loss. So go ahead and play it out. We're looking for 1, 2, and see if we get another push down. So kind of watching this trade here, I got my stochastics showing me, hey, it's a little oversold, and we can take a profit here. So again, a nice 1 to 2.5 risk reward. We're in it. Scalp this puppy. A nice little pullback, but a nice push back into negative territory. All right, so that was BABA. Let's take a look at Meta. One more example here. So this is a different trending market here, but gives us the same kind of setup. So I'm gonna go ahead and so let's look at here. So I got nothing right now. Now I have one big push, right? So hey, I like this short position. So anything here, and I'm gonna have my stop loss at the high of this one, and then I'm gonna look for 3 big pushes, right? So 3 big pushes. So we'll go ahead and fast forward through. We got 1 going against us here, and 2, and then there. So this is a losing trade, but again, we're out. We're not dollar cost averaging here. We're just out of this trade. This did not go in our favor. So we'll look to cut this trade about off of this one. So this is an example of a losing trade for us. Again, not always going to work, but this just shows you, hey, this, if we just have our risk management and we stick to our strategy, you know, we'll be successful, because of the trades that we do get into are very powerful, and they produce good results when they do go in our favor. Let's not quit this one. Hey, we have another. we can even look to take another trade. We have a nice big sell signal on this bar here, so we can look to take another short position as soon as it breaks above this low, breaks below this low, and then set our stop at the high of this previous candle. So now we're in this candle at 950, and we're looking for 3 big pushes. Again, respecting our stop losses, and then we would have stopped off here. So again, even though we're in this trade trying to scalp it, we know that this stock's going to keep trending. So you can keep trying with this as long as we respect our risk management. We're always going to be profitable in this trade. So not every single setup is going to give us 100% returns, but we know that, you know, if we find our tickers that we like IWM, SPY, Tesla, these are all good trades. Now these are just an example of trades not going our way, and then trying to find setups that may. So big fan of the strategy, big fan of the scalping strategy. Again, like if you got into the Tesla trade, I told you, hey, it's a good scalp. It's hard to call those out, but at the end of the day, intraday trade that we took on Tesla would have yielded us a $29 profit off that run up. So again, playing the trend, it's important. And you see, this is a very powerful strategy. We know that 90% of the time that we take these trades, it's gonna go in our favor. But the 10% time that it doesn't, let's respect our stop losses and get out, and then look to reevaluate either with another ticker altogether, or look for another position in the day. I believe Meta kept tanking at this point of today on Friday. But again, not a lot of price movement in this. I wouldn't have called Meta. I don't really like to play Meta unless it's a trending day. But again, we have a nice push, and then now it's just trading below this trend. So we could have taken, again, you could have done the intraday trade and played against low day breaks where it bounces back into the break of the low for this swing play, and then just kept riding it below. So again, not always going to work for you, but at least puts it in our favor. I just want to show you a couple losing trades so you know what it looks like, and then understand that it's not always going to go our way, but when it does, we're in a good position to take profits and run. All right. If you have any questions, you can just DM me or hit me up on my channel.